your dreams blocked due to your skin color? At the time of the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln had called for volunteers in 1860 to fight for the Union Army. Thousands of Northern African Americans ended up taking the offer, but a problem had occurred.
I, Abraham Lincoln, have called all of you here because I have an announcement I would like to make to everyone. I have asked for volunteers that would help us, the Union Army, to fight in the war. Kindly enough, the African Americans had agreed to help us out.
We refuse help from them. Letting them fight with us means it would belittle the sacrifice of the white soldiers and would violate the accepted mode of warfare.
Everyone, quiet down. This is a perfect opportunity for us to get more soldiers in our army.
We will accept anyone to be soldiers for us but African Americans.
After getting the information that the Northern white government did not agree on letting them in as soldiers, the African Americans were furious. They then protested against the Union Army policy by organizing letter-writing campaigns, electorals, and mass meetings.
As you all have heard, we had volunteered to become soldiers for the Union Army for the war, but they really would not accept us to be a part of their army due to our race.
Yes, and there's no reason for us to not have the rights to contribute in this war. We will demand for the right to fight for our country.
I agree, so therefore we are going to earn people's vote for us. We will organize letter-writing campaigns, industrials, and mass meetings to demand for our right to fight for the country.
And we won't stop until we get what we want.
It is the spring of 1863, and Abraham Lincoln is making his final decision for the Emancipation Proclamation.
Mr. President, your decision could affect the entire country. If you free all slaves, then Kentucky, Maryland, Delaware, and Missouri could leave the Union and join the Confederacy. But if you don't free all slaves, then those who aren't freed can end up trying to rebel.
I know. I think I've come to a final decision. I am going to free all the slaves under Confederate control. That way most slaves in the U.S. are freed and we can keep those 4 states on our side.
Good choice, Mr. President. Should I announce this?
No, just let the abolitionists know that I am going to start to write the proclamation now.
Yes, sir. I will let the abolitionists know about your decision.
The date is September 22nd, and President Abraham Lincoln is announcing the Emancipation Proclamation to the public.
I have gathered you all here today to announce what will affect the future of us as a country. This here is a document I have written for the past 4 months that declares all slaves under Confederate control to be emancipated starting January 1st on the next year, 1863. I know you all may not agree with my final decision, but I have put a lot of thought into it, and I find that this best for us as a country. I have chosen to do this for the sake of keeping Kentucky, Delaware, Maryland, and Missouri on the Union side.
We will be right back after this short break.
Hey, give me back my purse.
Give me the money. Ah.
Thanks for shooting him.
Well, with the new Prescott cartridge revolver, I could stop anyone and have my own security. It has a Navy-sized copper waterproof cartridge that it fires. It also got perfect aim. Watch.
Well, think everybody should buy one of these.
Stop by your local gun shop today to buy your Prescott cartridge revolver.
A regiment that was made up of 500 African American men and 13 white officers was formed in March of 1863 after the Emancipation Proclamation. It was the first regiment to be organized in the North by John A. Andrew.
I have decided to organize the regiment to clear up all the arguments that has been going with the Union force and the African Americans. If this regiment will turn out significant, then it would be the deciding factor to let the African Americans fight for their freedom.
This regiment was known as the Massachusetts 54th. In July of 1863, the worst mob violence in American history had occurred in New York City, led by Douglas and Evan.
Burn down the buildings, destroy everything. Half of you who are with Evan are in charge of taking down the military buildings, and the other half follow me to the government buildings. Let's go! Set the fire and throw it in the building.
Burn the other buildings.
Destroying properties is not enough to make up for what they did. Attack all African Americans you see. Don't let one pass by safely.
This violence in New York was known as the New York Draft Riot, the worst violence in the American history. This violence occurred due to the unhappiness of poor whites and immigrants with the fact that because of the Emancipation Proclamation, the Civil War was beginning to be more about blacks' freedom.
Help, let go of me.
It's all because of you African Americans that the Civil War turned out like this.
Please, please, let go of me.
No, never.
The riot had left quite a damage in the city. More than 100 buildings were burned and about 120 people were killed during the attack.
Is everyone ready?
Yes, we're ready. Let's begin the trip.
I'm glad everyone understands that it's the best for us to migrate to cool down the tension between us and the whites.
The riot had put a distance between the black and white, so many African Americans had decided to migrate to Manhattan. This lasted through the Civil Rights movement of the 1960s.